Hello, my loves. My name is Toni. Today, I want a real conversation with you. Not one you'll hear in most healing circles, which they benefit, they're great at times, but the conversation that makes people feel quite uncomfortable. But it's a conversation that'll set you free when you really get it. It's about a quote I just recently read by Mosley Bridget. It stopped me in my tracks, and it said, "They don't want healing, they want access. Lock the gate." And the moment I read it, I felt it in my gut. Because if you're walking this healing path, whether it's physical healing, breaking addictions, raw living, emotional healing, spiritual awakening, you're going to meet people like this. Maybe you already have. And today I want to unpack what this actually means, how it shows up in our lives, and why it's absolutely okay, in fact necessary, to lovingly lock that gate, as Mosley would say. When she says they don't want healing, what she's saying is that a lot of people will come into your life claiming they want to grow, claiming they want to evolve, claiming they want to break their patterns, leave their trauma behind, or finally start living their truth. But what they actually want is proximity. They want to be close to someone who's done the work because it feels good. It soothes them. It reminds them of who they could be without requiring them to face what they need to face to actually get there. And when she says they want access, what she's talking about is this energetic exchange. They don't want the actual healing process. They don't want the uncomfortable, soul-wrenching, ego-dissolving work it takes to truly heal. They just want access to your peace, your light, your wisdom, your high frequency. And if you're a giver, an empath, a healer, a truth speaker, it can be so easy to leave that gate wide open because you love people. You see their potential. You want to help. But not everyone who knocks at your door deserves a seat at your table. How this shows up in healing communities, and I've seen from time and time again being in this healing space, people are obsessed with the outcome. Even the training I was on was always results-based. They want the glow, the weight loss, the peace, the high vibrations. But when it comes to doing the real work, when it comes to detoxing, to let going of old stories, to releasing blame, to being uncomfortable, they'll find every excuse not to. They love sitting in your light. But the moment you say to them to look at their darkness, they run, or worse, they stay, but they drain you. I've experienced this personally. People I let too close because I felt bad for setting a boundary. People who loved having access to me, to my energy, my wisdom, but never applied it to their lives. I had quite a few clients come into my retreat last year, and I love them for where they are, and everyone's on their own journey. But when they aren't willing to do the work or even make attempts and try, it's exhausting. And before I knew it, I felt heavy after every conversation, exhausted, irritated, out of alignment. And you realize it's not your job to carry people who refuse to walk. Why locking the gate isn't cruel. It's like, I just want to add in as well, when people want so much free stuff but aren't willing. I offer so much free content and so many conversations, but when I ask them to subscribe to something, to have a call, coaching call, have one of my offerings, they don't, because they just want everything for free. They don't want to change. Why locking the gate isn't cruel. And this is why people pleasers, because I'm one of them, and open-hearted healers struggle, because lock that gate sounds cruel. I see so many healers in this space, raw vegan coaches, not charging for the services. Boundaries are love. When you invest, you commit. You're committing to something energetically, not just physically. When you lock the gate, say for example, you're charging somebody to have access to you, you're not rejecting anyone. You're not being cruel. You're loving yourself enough to protect your energy. And you're loving them enough to stop enabling their patterns. Because every time you leave the gate open for someone who isn't ready, you delay their growth. You soften the consequences of their own avoidance. And sometimes the most loving thing you can do for someone is let them sit with their discomfort. I always remember Carl C saying something along the lines of, when you stop enabling someone's dysfunction, you give them the gift of meeting themselves. And the thing is, when you start locking the gate, your peace multiplies, your clarity sharpens, your manifestations come faster because the leaks in your energy fields have gone. How to know when to lock the gate? I know it's difficult for us people pleasers and empaths. Here's what I personally look for. Do I feel lighter or heavier after spending time with this person? Do they only come to me when they need something? Do they repeat the same victim story over and over again without any real effort to change? Do they resist doing the uncomfortable inner work but want to be in my space because it makes them feel better temporarily? And the biggest one for me, is this person adding to my peace or subtracting from it? Now, we all go through difficulties. We need others. But is this an ongoing pattern where it's absolutely draining you? So if it's the latter, if it's distracting you, draining you, it's time to lovingly lock the gate. It doesn't mean you stop loving them. It means you love yourself enough to choose peace, and you love them enough to let them walk their own path. So I want to remind you today that you owe nobody your energy just because they want access to it. You don't owe anyone your light just because they find comfort in it. Healing is sacred. Your peace is sacred. Your time, your vibration, your raw living, your awakening is sacred. And not everyone who claims to want it is ready for it. And that's okay. You are not here to carry people who refuse to walk. You can love them, you can pray for them, you can wish them well, but you can lock the gate. And it will be the most freeing thing you will ever do. If this message landed with you today, I'd love to hear in the comments below. Where in your life have you left the gate open for too long? Because many of us have. I have with family, with my family members, because they are family. But I had to set boundaries. And what happened when you finally locked the gate? Let's open up this conversation because I know many of us have felt this. And if you want to work closely with me, all that information is in the description box below. If you like this video, thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, also turn on the bell notification to be notified of when the next videos are. Be, feel, and stay Rawlicious.